It's showtime, folks.
What is up, Better Call Saul friends? Today we are going through Season 1, Episode 2, titled Mijo, the 9 most important scenes in this episode. Spoilers for all of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and El Camino. If you have not watched the entire series, you really shouldn't watch these videos. This is my first attempt at like a rewatch, so if you think I should change anything that would make the video better, please let me know. And as always, like, subscribe, comment down below. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, let's jump into our very first scene. Do not ever call Tuco's grandma a BIZNATCH. Just a really dumb thing for you to do. This is going to set up what ticks off Tuco so much in this episode. It's also just really funny. Let's watch.
The crazy old BIZNATCH who ran over my brother.
Called her BIZNATCH.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Yeah, whatever, man. Please hurry it up. I'm hurting here.
Yeah,
Right, play it smart.
We just want our money. They're thinking they're going to get a payout, a check. Boom! Boom!
No.
BIZNATCH.
Not a good idea. All right, great scene there. Our second one is going to be with Tuco and Jimmy, and excuse me, and Jimmy comes into the house after that scene that we just saw, and now we are going to see Jimmy have a way with words with Tuco, and really show off how well he can spin different things, which is important for this episode. It's also obviously important for the rest of the series.
I'm saying keep it simple. I will collect my moronic clients and poof, we are gone. Neither you nor your lovely Abuelita will ever lay eyes on us. Ever again.
And then that is good. Jimmy's waiting, seeing what Tuco's going to say here, and let's see what Tuco has to say.
Wow. You got a mouth on you.
I think that was used in one of the trailers for Season 1. I'll have to double check that. But that's a great line from Tuco, and it's a great way of us seeing that Jimmy can talk himself out of tough situations. Speaking of tough situations, that's going to be our third scene with Jimmy in the desert, brought out there by Tuco, and he's actually going to meet our main man, Nacho, out there. Now, for those of you who do not remember...
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Jimmy's got to say thank you there.
I'm Special Agent Jim.
Okay, so what's going on here is Jimmy tells Tuco and Nacho and all the other guys there that he's a lawyer and this is a giant mistake and they're trying to con someone else. Tuco doesn't believe it at all. And so then, to avoid himself getting killed, Jimmy starts pretending he's an FBI agent. But Nacho is not buying it. And so that's what I played just a second there. Let's see the rest of it.
Steele, FBI.
FBI.
FBI, I'm undercover, okay? You got deal.
Okay, Agent Steele, what business are we in?
Now, I just already like this because we know Nacho's important from that line in Breaking Bad, and this is where we're getting to know him a little bit, and we're getting to know he's not exactly like Tuco and the rest of the cartel members that we know at this point.
Business?
You're investigating us, right? For what? What did we do? What do we sell?
Drugs.
What kind of drugs? The next words out of your mouth ought to be the truth.
Jimmy's giving up the story.
Who are you?
I'm James Morgan McGill. I'm a lawyer. I was trolling for business. Okay, that's the truth. Now you fucks because you're...
Okay, went a little bit too far there, but that is showing us that Nacho is not a hothead like Tuco. He's got a little bit more intelligence and wit to him than the rest of the cartel members that we see. And so Nacho, after that scene, does believe him, or after that line, he does believe him. He does believe that he's a lawyer. Now, here is Jimmy. Now, Jimmy's basically been given off the hook by Tuco, and he's going to be fine, but Jimmy thinks that Tuco's going to kill those two skateboarder guys, and Jimmy doesn't want that to happen. So Jimmy's going to try and talk Tuco out of killing those two kids, or I guess they're men, in this scene, and he's going to appeal to Tuco's better half. Let's watch this.
But you're fair. You're all about justice. That's what I'm saying. Justice, like a judge.
Tuco loves it.
You ever hear of the code of Hammurabi? Let the punishment fit the crime, eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. You want me to blind him?
That is so funny. No, Tuco, that's not what Jimmy's going for there.
Look, total of 2 legs. Hey, look, they can't skateboard for 6 months.
All right, now Jimmy talked him out of ripping out the eyes. Tuco's gonna break both the legs, and then Jimmy talks him down to one leg per skateboarder.
And they're scared of you forever. You show everybody that you are the man, but that you're fair, that you're just.
And Tuco agrees to it.
That's fair.
And he agrees to it, obviously because Jimmy's got a way with words. Also, he appeals to Tuco's better half, his side of seeing himself as some kind of arbiter of justice, which, Jimmy knows the different ticks that'll get people to do what he wants. And so that's what we're kind of learning in this scene. Our very next scene, which should come up right now, is Chuck going back to Chuck's house after he dropped off the skateboarding guys at the hospital. Now, in the last episode, Jimmy introduced us to the idea of Slippin' Jimmy when he mentioned it to the skateboarding guys. And in this episode, we see him reference it to Chuck. So let's watch that right here. And he just got the bill. That pink slip is the bill for the broken legs at the hospital for the skateboarding guys.
Listen, I know how this looks. I'm down to my last dime and suddenly I'm paying for broken legs, but it's not that. I swear. This represents a good thing, ultimately.
Okay.
I'm not backsliding. This isn't Slippin' Jimmy.
Now, the look on Chuck's face says it all. Jimmy obviously thinks that Chuck is thinking of Slippin' Jimmy, and so that's why Jimmy mentions it in the first place. This has obviously been a source of tension for them in the past, but at this point in the show, the second episode, we don't know exactly what that entails or how deep it goes. And so this is going to be the very next scene between the two of them.
Take off the space blanket. I didn't do anything wrong.
It has nothing to do with that. It was your phone.
Take off the space blanket.
Now, Jimmy last night came into the house. Chuck realized he had his phone on him, and I think Jimmy was in a bad spot. So that's why, Jimmy forgot to take the phone out, and Chuck is saying he's in the space blanket because Jimmy had his phone on him, but Jimmy thinks that Chuck is the space blanket because he thinks that Chuck is worried that he's falling back into Slippin' Jimmy. So it's a little bit, it's pretty interesting, and I'm honestly not exactly sure if Jimmy really believes Chuck here. Does Jimmy just think that Chuck's wearing the space blanket because of the cell phone? Does he think it's because he's falling into Slippin' Jimmy? Does he want Chuck to never wear the space blanket completely? I'm actually not positive about any of that, but I did think it was important for us to point out. So the sixth scene that we're going to go over is going to be Transactional Jimmy in the courthouse. And this is the first instance we see of Transactional Jimmy in court scenes, but it definitely will not be the last.
Why?
Oh, it looked like I cut that too soon.
Take off the space blanket, Chuck. Come on.
All right, in the courthouse.
Not to starve to death? What do you say? Got something for me?
All right, now that is relatively innocent. I'm sure it's against rules to do this, but it's just a cute stuffed animal. And that's what I love about this scene. It starts off so small. We obviously know it magnifies throughout the years into something much bigger, but this Transactional Jimmy in the courthouse does start off relatively small and relatively innocent, and that's a cute little stuffed animal there. All right, the seventh scene that we have, and I might have to cut the audio for some of this because there's music in the background and I want to be able to play this whole thing, but the seventh scene that I have is the very first montage that we have in the entire show.
It's showtime, folks.
And Jimmy's going to meet...
took a slice of pizza.
He was a prior.
Look, the parents are a train wreck. There's no food in the house.
He's meeting Bill Oakley there. He's saying Petty with the prior.
Go get another sticker.
We see more of the Mike and Jimmy stickers. Jimmy is not happy about it. We see this great scene where Jimmy looks at Kim, and I like this so much because, again, second episode, we have no idea who Kim is in relation to Jimmy, so it's really great to plant that seed in our mind to like, hey, we don't know Kim in Breaking Bad. What is What does this Jimmy think of? What is this Kim character? Who's she about? What is her relation to Jimmy? We have no idea at this point.
Okay, how about this? I played the kid to the sheet, but you give me a continued sentence.
All right, now he's arguing with Bill Oakley here, and he's going to go over, the logistics of how everything's going to work, but then this is the point that I want to point out to you. He offers him the chips. Again, it's a small, relatively innocuous transaction, but I'm guessing you can't, put chips in a bribe in terms of determining someone's sentence, but it's how Jimmy does business. Now, this is our next scene, the 8th scene that we have, which is Jimmy doing the hand motions to the phone. This is the very first time we see Jimmy trying to make that phone ring with his hands, and we will see it more often as he tries to get more business going. Oopsie.
You have 0 messages.
Hey, look.
And then our very last scene, Jimmy, again, he's in his office right there. It's also his house, and he's got that fold-up couch in there. Nacho surprises him, and we get Nacho coming up with an idea that Jimmy needs to start working with him. And there's a lot of good stuff in this scene.
I'm a lawyer, not a criminal.
Obviously, that's going to be in Jimmy's psyche for the rest of the show. I think the Kettlemans are going to mention he's a lawyer that criminals hire. So this is a deep-seated insecurity that Jimmy has deep down. And we get this in this very second episode of the series.
You are shitting me.
Now, Nacho helped get Jimmy out of the desert with Tuco. I mean, Jimmy could be dead if it were not for Nacho's help. So that's why Nacho is kind of incredulous there. And then he's going to do this.
For when you figure out you're in the game.
I'm not in the game. I promise.
Crazy.
Oh, all right, and that's it. Here, let's go back and keep that scene. Keep these guys right there. Perfect. So that line, for when you realize you're in the game, said by Nacho, this was great because it hinted at something that we did not know in Breaking Bad, which is that Saul is more connected to the cartel than what we previously knew. In Breaking Bad, we know Saul Goodman has these connections. We definitely knew that. But he did not know Gus, and we did not see him really interact with any other criminals other than Mike. So early in Better Call Saul, they show us a side of Jimmy that we did not know existed in Breaking Bad. And again, that's why I put that scene in here. Thought it was a good one, kind of setting the scene for everything that's going to happen next. And that is all I have for today's episode. My 9 most important scenes from Season 1, Episode 2. As always, please like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know your thoughts on these scenes and if I missed anything. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye.
I'm not backsliding. This isn't Slippin' Jimmy.
You got a mouth on you.
Thank you.
BIZNATCH.